Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? I hope you're right. You should be. What's that, Jim? Well, it's Tuesday, April 22. Easter's in the rearview mirror. Anzac Day still ahead of us. It's the week that barely exists. Don't do any work this week. What are you doing? This is 3 pointless days. I know that other states have still got their school holidays. I had to drop this. Anyway, we'll get to that later. I'm your host, James Clements. He's already complaining. We've literally just started here in Larry Armour Studios for a fun, quick Tuesday show where I feel like we've now got a lot of evidence that Nico Harrison just might be a stark raving mad dog. Maybe. I'll talk about that later. We've got 2 massive game 2s, a big upset in the New York Knickerbockers Detroit Pistons game, and a Kawhi Classic in Colorado. A Kawhi Classic in Colorado. It's your classical KKK. That's 2 of the ones start with C's. We actually got a bit of an ethical hoops debate as well, I guess, out of that. Ben Simmons has braids. We've got some Dame news. We'll do all this in the game wraps. I got That's Not a Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better than Lonzo Ball. Some very quick, nahs and unpopular opinion of the day. An OUTBACK Takehouse, where we're serving up a flame grilled take. There is a Shane Hill shoot your shot, light 'em up award. And then we'll look at very quickly at the Aussies. Not much going on there today. But the previews for tomorrow, we've got 3 big games tomorrow as well. So I'll pick, preview, and predict everything that's going to go on in those at the very end for you. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1252 of NBA Straya. Let's go! The worst of days!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the SHOCK attack.
You better. I don't know. Inside the NBA was pretty good today. Better watch out for the misinformation attack, though. Because, wow, they killed off a former player who wasn't dead. Never great. Was it Billy Ray Bates? And they're like, yeah, we had to apologise because yesterday we said that he was dead. He's not. Jesus. At least you don't get that sort of misinformation here on NBA Straya. Of course you do. Let's start with the Daily Whip Around. It is a bit of a Daily Whip Around, as mentioned. Had to get the squids to daycare and school today. Kind of fun. And she's like, oh, it's a 3-day week. Can you just stay home. It's fine. And to rush him off. Like, the baby had to go to the hospital, though. Well, not the hospital, the bloody doctor, just to get the thumbs up. He had this crazy rash the other day that sent him home from daycare. But he's all good. Just trying to, bloody wrangle 2 very small children very early in the morning. You're just like, what are we doing here? Just for 3 days. Anyway. The Daily Whip Around. Bit of the old news today. Very, very, very simple one popped off earlier this morning. Our old mate Nico Harrison, remember him? The bloke who might be the biggest dummy ever, basically went out and tried his absolute hardest to confirm that, didn't he? How good was that? What a press conference. He's out there. I didn't know Luka was important to the Mavs fans. I didn't know to what level. What are you idiot? Jesus. He also was like, yeah, I've never spoken ill of Luka. And then under his breath is probably a fucking fat piece of shit, fucking Slovenian arsehole. That's exactly, he's just a delusional fucking lunatic in charge of the Mavs, seemingly. And as I said, it's almost just stunning the level of misguided, illogical, zero compunction of having any sort of perspective that this guy's pulled off. And you're like, but I knew Kobe. What a fucking moron. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I think it's one of those weird ones, right? If you're this guy, if you're Nico Harrison, it's quite literally your job. You're running the entire, the basketball operations for the Mavs, and to have no sense that Mavs fans who just spent 21 years with Dirk Nowitzki in their lives to the point where he's like a demigod in Dallas, to have no idea of what Luka Doncic could mean to that fan base after 7 years and going to a finals, you have to be the biggest fucking moron in the world. Or willfully ignorant to a point where you're so narcissistic that no one else's feelings or opinions actually even fucking get anywhere near your brain. And I feel like it might be a combination of the two with Nico. Because he came out, he's like, I'm super stubborn, so someone telling me to do something doesn't work too well for me. What are you talking about? What a fuck. It was a train wreck to the point where he tried to go off the stage and go out a door and the door was locked. What an absolute fucking dummy. It is stunning. Anyway. So great job by Nico. Really cleared things up. Absolute clown show there in Dallas. I'll talk about him again a little bit later. Ben Simmons has braids. That's right. Ben Simmons also scored his first playoff bucket since 2021, which is pretty funny. But has braids now. I do kind of feel like someone might have said, hey, Ben, try to, take a free throw or get the worst haircut you've ever seen. And he's like, I'll get that. Worst haircut you've ever seen. Jesus. Dame Lillard is upgraded to questionable for tomorrow's game against the Indiana Pacers of Indianapolis. This is interesting. He's been out since March 18, has our man Dame Lillard. Dame time with a blood clot in his right calf. Interesting, though, he's been listed as questionable due to return to competition reconditioning. He's gone through his first full practice at the end of last week after being cleared of deep vein thrombosis and stopping his blood thinning medication. And the doctors were like, the speed with which Damian Lillard has recovered has never been seen before. But it's because they jumped on early treatment because of the detection and the specialists working on him before there was even a formal diagnosis. Because he started blood thinning medication before the March 25 diagnosis of the actual full-on blood clot. So because they were onto it early, he's able to come back a little bit earlier. It's pretty good, isn't it? So I kind of like that. The other little bit of news before we get into the game wraps. The Hawks. You remember Landry Fields? Used to play for the Knickerbockers. It was a big part of Lynn's sanity. He was also on the Raptors. He would have been part of the Bargs trade. Anyway, he's been fired as the Hawks GM. Jesus. I love it. The Hawks are like, hang on a second. We've got we fucking pulled off a massive swindle to go get Dyson Daniels, who should win Defensive Player of the Year. But you also got a bag of chips back for DeAndre Hunter and Bogdan Bogdanovic. What the fuck are you doing, Landry? How'd you go? And he's like, I thought I did a good job. You look at that Hawks team and you're like, what the fuck is this team? It is a mess. So checks out. Hey, let's do some game wraps from today. Game wraps. Detroit beat the New York Knickerbockers of New York City.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, Lord. 194 in Game 2 at MSG. And the craziest part was they were never really in it until right at the end. They never had control of this game. It was bizarre. It was absolutely bonkers how much the Detroit basketballing Pistons of Detroit, Michigan really just controlled this game. They got it by 15 at one point. The Knicks basically were kind of just scrabbling around going, we're going to win this. It's fine. Remember how we ripped off that 21-0 run the other day and won the game? The Pistons this time were like, hang on. What are you doing? Not today, mate. Not today. And I think the craziest part for me, for the Knicks, was that they never got it quite cranking. But crucially, the Pistons always took advantage. It was so weird. Like, the Knicks really struggled to string together buckets after buckets, and without any fucking point in time did they get a stop as well, right? Until the very end, where there's this 16-4 run to tie it up at 94. But it was almost too little too late because suddenly the threes don't drop again. Dennis Schroeder, I am drumming the rondo, hits this huge tie-breaking three. The Knicks miss their shots and the game's fucking over. And it was all despite Jalen Brunson's unethical hooping. Do you want me to explain it? This was unethical hooping by Jalen Brunson, who has always been a little bit of a foul hunting merchant. But when the brightest spotlight is upon you at MSG in a playoff game, and you're playing a really fun, scrappy Detroit basketball Pistons team. I'm wearing the hat right now. I'm wearing the teal. I love that. I love that we had Grant Hill on that call as well. But the unethical hooping of Jalen Brunson of throwing his head back, quite literally, 4, 5, 6 times on the one singular drive where clearly no one is fucking hitting him in the head. At some point, you're going to go, Jalen, I think it's just, what are you doing? The refs aren't falling for it. Just look at the hoop. I beg you. At one point, look at the hoop. Try to make a putt instead of trying to fucking foul bait. Boom, turnover. The foul grifting, it worked a couple of times, but it was great to see it actually not work in the end. And it felt like it was the basketball gods going, don't like that. What are you doing? Come on, Jalen. No. You're good enough to fucking succeed without doing that. And it's one of the big problems in the NBA, this foul baiting thing. It's not as widespreadly bad as it was 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Mostly as James Harden has settled down into the into his old age. But it was also like he's been a very ethical hooper, I think, a lot of the time, has Jalen Brunson. But this one just felt very egregious. You had Thompson foul out as well, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And it did feel like for a big chunk of this towards the end, as they're going on this big run, the Pistons were playing 5 on 8. It was very tough. But they get there in the end because they just sort of held their composure, and Cade Cunningham was fucking amazing. And also Karl Anthony Towns, for some completely unknown reason, the Knicks went completely away from him. He didn't score in the second half. He didn't take a shot in the fourth quarter. His last shot came with 5:20 left in the third quarter. He played all 12 minutes of the fourth and did not take a shot. It was crazy. Brunson finishes with 37. He was fantastic, as I mentioned, apart from the foul baiting. Only dude keeping him in it. 12 of 27 from the floor, though. 4 of 12 from downtown. 6 turnovers, a little bit shoddy here and there. But, I mean, Mikal Bridges had 19 and 5. Cat finishes with 10 and 6. 5 of 11 shooting. The OG Anunoby, I expected more from him. 10 points on 10 shots. But, I don't know. When those threes aren't dropping, he went 0 of 4 from downtown. As a team, they went 10 of 35. You're just having these moments going, all right, well, what's plan C? And they're like, campaign? And they're like, no, he's got 3 fouls in his first 4 minutes we're sitting in. How about you give it to, I don't know, the 7-foot dude, Karl Anthony Towns, who's really fucking good, Tibbs. It's like there's only so far Josh Hart junk buckets will get you, and it'll get you to a loss in this game. And that's exactly what happened. Detroit were fantastic. They got 0 from the bench. They got 8 points from Deuce McBride, and that was it. He went 3-7, 2 of 4 from downtown. The other Mitch Robinson was the only bloke to take a shot. He went 0 of 2. He had 7 boards in his 20 minutes, but Jesus, it was shocking. Hart has the 10, 7, and 5, but he only went 2 of 6. And it was just so Brunson-centric that it all just fell apart because that's what Cat's fucking there for. That's why he was so good in game 1. Anyway, that was weird. The Pistons only went 6 of 27 from downtown as well. So whenever anyone goes, you know what, threes are ruining basketball, just show them this game and go, what's actually ruining basketball might be the bit where Jalen Brunson's hunting fouls and doesn't get any. 34 free throws to 19. Tibbs had a lot of problems with this after the game. He's like, if Cade's exaggerating contact and he's getting these free throws, what about bloody Jalen Brunson? It's like, I don't know. Ethical hooping, just saying. Cade ends up with 33 points, 12 rebounds, only 3 assists because none of his mates would hit a fucking shot, I'll tell you. 12 and 13 for Jalen Duren. He was really good. Tobias Harris over me had 15 and 13. Shot 6 of 11. Very classically Tobias. And the weirdest part was Tim Hardaway the Lesser chucked up an all-time Spud night. We'll talk about him later. He was horrible. 0 points in 21 minutes. You had All-Star Thompson shoot 2 of 7 for 5 points. Brutal. Malik Beasley goes 1 of 8 from downtown. 9 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Brutal. And whose music is that? Who is here to save the day? I am Dennis Schroeder. I am German Rondo. Amazing game from him out of absolutely nowhere. And I loved it because they kept showing the graphic. It's like, well, this is where he's been this year. He started off from Brooklyn. He's going there. He's going there. Now he's here. You're like, that's fucking awesome. Good on him. 20 points on 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 5 from downtown, including that dagger. Unreal at the end. And the best part about it, this win in MSG snaps the longest losing streak in NBA playoff history. That's right. It's their first postseason win, the Detroit Pistons, since 2008. Back in the Chauncey Billups. And who else was in the 08s? You had Sheed, Ben Wallace before. Does he go to the Bulls at that point? Anyway, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, etc. And then Joe Dumas, new head of the Pelicans, goes, you know what? I've got all this money. How about we give it to Charlie Villanueva and Ben Gordon? Amazing. But they had 15 straight losses in the playoffs. That's really hard to do. You've been swept 3 times in a row. You dropped game 1 at Madison Square Garden. Their last win came in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston. That's the old Paul Pierce, KG, Ray Allen bloody dudes. 2008 Celtics. They won game 4, lost the next 2, got swept 3 straight times, and boom, here we are. They got swept in 2009, 2016, and 2019. Oh, God. That is brutal. But now they've won, so that's good. Anyway, we'll talk about the rest of the series in a second, but wow, great win for Detroit. Knicks, what are you doing? And then we had Kawhi. And the Clippers get by Denver in an absolute belter of a game that finished really weirdly. 105-102. The Clippers win this because Kawhi basically decided not to miss. I think as I tweeted out, it's remarkable knowing that he is a biomechanically engineered android specifically made to play basketball, and he's still this fucking good at playing basketball. Like, it is ridiculous. And then, so we go back and forth. Awesome game, right? Like, weird start. Felt like Denver should have been up more, but Kawhi literally just didn't miss until like towards the very end of the second quarter. He's like 7 of 7 to start. But it was like a 6-point game. Felt like Denver should have been up more. They were hitting their threes, and then they kind of weren't. And then the Clippers just stuck fast. That's all they did. They're just like, all right, we're going to trade buckets. We're not going to get too fucking high. We're not going to get too low. It's going to be okay. Ben Simmons had an awesome pass in there, which is pretty good. And Kawhi hits this huge 3 at the end of the second quarter, a buzzer-beating 3, and they lead 55-52. Neck and neck all the way through the third quarter. The Clips have this moment where they're like, fuck it. Russell Westbrook, you beat us. And Rusty's like, all right, here's a 3. And everyone's like, fucking, didn't see that coming. And then he's like, hang on, here's another 3. And they're like, Jesus, are you sure? And he's like, yes. And there you go. You just like have these moments of well, hang on a second. He's driving to the basket. He's sending it long. Oh, God. And then it comes right down to the nuts and guts of it, where Kawhi Leonard is just like, hang on a second. Let's play a bit of defense here. He gets an amazing steal as Jokic sort of drives, is trying to play on Zoobs, and he throws it away. And it's kind of like the big knock, I guess, on Jokic in this game is the turnovers. But the way he turned it over was just absolutely brutal. Kawhi was hitting these buttery fucking mid-ranges all game. He hits one with about a minute to go and then backs it up with the steal off the bad pass from Jokic. And it's just absolute kissing fingers emoji. Harden dances, just brings the clock all the way down. There's like 12 seconds left. Misses a fucking bunny off the glass. The Nuggets got the other way. Christian Brown misses a wide open 3. Jokic gets the ball back. He misses a 3. They're down 3, and the game is then over. And you're like, what just fucking happened in the last 50 seconds of this game? It was chaos. This game was like super tight. It was a 1-point game with 1 minute 16 to go. Kawhi hits that last shot, and then nothing else happens. It was awesome. It was like blink and you miss a shit. And the way that like Norm Powell woke up, he broke the deadlock. It was tied at 100 all. And the Clippers sort of like just kept their noses in front. But then Michael Porter Jr. had a big, like, you know, couple of free throws late. He misses one of them. They missed a bunch of them too. And the Clippers just took advantage of it. they just took advantage of it because the Nuggets left so many points there in the free. I think they were 14 to 22. Is that right? Yeah, 14 to 22. That's a lot of missed free throws. Like Jokic goes 6 of 10, Gordon goes 1 of 3, Michael Porter Jr. goes 2 of 4, Jamal Murray goes 4 of 8. It was crazy. Meanwhile, Kawhi Leonard's not missing fucking anything. Finishes with the 39. It was incredible. What a way for the Clippers to go, right, fuck it, Westbrook, you beat us. And he's like, no, I'm going to try. And they go, fuck, he might beat us. Let's beat him anyway. Unreal. Aaron Gordon had just this absolutely brutal moment. I think, with 3 minutes to go, 2.5 minutes left. To take the lead, he's got an open dunk and throws it off the back of the rim. I feel like having a lead would have been pretty bloody handy at some point there. But wow, a great game. Jokic ends up with 26 points, 10 assists, 12 rebounds, and 7 turnovers. A weird game. 4 of 8 from the deep. And it's one of those games where you're like, yeah, if you want to shoot those threes, Jokic, we're fucking happy for that. That's fine. Jamal Murray goes 4 of 8 from 3. Oh, no, he didn't miss 4 of 8 from the free throws. I was reading the wrong fucking thing. Who missed all those free throws for them? Yeah, Jokic goes 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Brutal. 1 and 2 for Christian Brown. 1 and 2 for MPJ. I was slandering Jamal. He has 23 and 6. He was sick. And you could tell. He looked fucking deathly pale. He's wearing the sort of baggy long sleeve shirt underneath his jersey like he's a, 28-year-old just on the pingers. It was nuts. 14 and 6 for Aaron Gordon. Michael Porter Jr. 15 and 15. 14 for Rusty. And they just couldn't get enough. It was so weird. This Nuggets team is one of those ones as well. You got a good Michael Porter Jr. game. You got a decent Aaron Gordon game. You got a really good Jokic and Jamal game. And you lose at home. It feels like a much bigger loss than people are probably going to think. Anyway, for the Clippers, you had 18 and 7 for Harden. You had Zoobs with 16, 12, and 4. He was unreal. 13 for Norm. Norm Powell hit 2 threes. A couple of sixes off the bench for Batum. He hit 2 big threes, and Derek Jones Jr. Ben Simmons with the 2 1-1. Solid-ish minutes, though, in 8 minutes. Bogdan Bogdanovic had another shocker. He's having a really bad series. But Kawhi Leonard was the story for me, and let's get into that. This series is 1-1, and wow, it's exciting as, isn't it? I love it. Kawhi Leonard, what a game. He's going to start off with the NBA Straya Proof Performance of the Night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
He's a fun guy. 39 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block to go with 3 rebounds. He shot 15 of 19 from the floor, including 4 of 7 from downtown. Quite literally did not miss for the vast majority of this game. He was shooting 92% for the first half, essentially. And then he missed a couple of ones late. But incredible game from Kawhi Leonard. Just took that over and just fucking hit everything. Even inside the NBA, they were just like, holy shit, he looks better, he looks skinnier, he's crushing it. And it's like, all right, let's see him continue to do so for another couple of rounds in the playoffs. That's all I ask. But an awesome game from him. Honorable mention's got to go to Cade Cunningham, who was really bloody good for the Pistons in that big drought-breaking win. Loved that for him. 33, 12, and 3, 10 of 12 on the line. And Dennis Schroeder, Ian Drummond, Rondo was incredible when they needed him most. 20 points, 3 of 5 from downtown. Massive game from him. And Jokic, as I sort of said, it was a weird game from him. He can have an honorable mention because he still had another triple-double, but the 7 turnovers as well. Nearly quadrupled it. Who was Spud of the night, though, Jim? That's a good question, everybody. Who could it have been? All right, it might be a bit of a legend. One of the all-time great Spuds.
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
That's right, one of the great all-time Spuds, Tim Hardaway the Lesser. Unbelievable comeback for him. 21 minutes, 0 of 8 from the floor for the Detroit Pistons against his old team. 0 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. He was gunning for Kyle Kuzma's 22 minutes of ineptitude the other day. Jesus. 0 of 8 from the floor, 0 of 6 from downtown. Absolutely crazy game from him. 1 of 8 for Malik Beasley, as mentioned as well. But there was also 0 of 5 for Bogdan Bogdanovic for the Clippers. That was a bit of a spud night for him. Tried his absolute hardest to give it away. He had 2 turnovers, 0 points, 2 assists, a steal, 0 of 5 from the floor, and 0 of 1 from downtown. Crazy gear, but I would very much like to thank our very good friend. Mikal Bridges from downtown. What did he shoot, Jim? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did. Chill. Woo! He shot 311, Neo Beauty. Thank you, Mikal Bridges. If he hits a couple of those, maybe they win that game. But either way, awesome stuff from him. All right. Who's old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Old mate, no mates. Who's got no mates today? It's still Nico Harrison. If you keep saying dumb shit, you dumb idiot, people are going to think you're a dumb idiot, you dumb shit. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's very much like, dig up, stupid. Even Charles Barkley and Shaq are just like, yeah, don't, what are you doing? And like, they're friends with him. Like, Shaq's like, don't do any more media. Just do your job. Your job is to run the Mavs. It's like, all right, way to carry some fucking water there, Shaq. And Barkley's like, don't do any more press conference. I don't even know what you're doing. This war is over, brother. You're taking the L. But when you're so much of an old mate, no mates in a GM press conference, the reporters are like, so look, there's quite literally thousands of people chanting for you to be fired. Why shouldn't you be fired? And he's like, I think I'm doing a good job. And it's like, that's not answering the question. You fucking idiot. I think I've done a really good job here. Thousands of people would disagree. But I think the biggest one that sort of came out of a lot of this today, the Nico stuff. And like, yes, he's old mate, no mates. Everyone thinks he's a fucking idiot. But obviously none of this shit happens in a basketball organization without ownership just going, all right, I'm going to throw you to the wolves, fucking sucked in. And Patrick Dumont, that big old fucking baby chino looking motherfucker. Apparently Dumont now is just a little bit like, hang on. Is this guy a fucking idiot? What's going on? So the report from Tim Cato was that Dumont no longer sees Harrison as a figure with irreproachable basketball expertise. He knew Kobe. Did he tell you already? It's like, what's the best way to find out if someone's vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. Like, that's fucking exactly what Nico Harrison is like. Did you know he used to work with Kobe? Yes, he's told me 4 times. I've been speaking to him for 3 seconds. Anyway, but Dumont apparently had frustration with Harrison because Nico didn't warn Patrick Dumont, big fucking baby Chino over there, about the outrage following the trade. Yeah, that's right. Nico Harrison has just cost Patrick Dumont, quite literally, hundreds of millions of dollars. And Patrick Dumont, big fucking baby Chino over there, the fucking marshmallow man, dipshit fucking McGee. He's like, hang on. Is this idiot over here who made one of the dumbest fucking basketball trades in the history of sport, quite literally the dumbest, fuck, maybe he is a bit dumb. He's cost me hundreds of millions of dollars. I didn't think people would be that angry about trading a franchise figurehead. Nico said it'd be fine. What are you doing, you fucking idiot? That's insane. Amazing. So apparently that's also why Dumont made Harrison do that fucking weird media thing last week with the Dallas media with no cameras and shit. And Nico didn't want to do it. And Dumont's like, it's fucking your fault, dickhead. Off you go. Anyway, pantsing of the night. I mean, there's a self-pantsing by Nico, obviously, by having just being the dumbest motherfucker in the world. That's a bit of a pantsing. But also Aaron Gordon, as I said, that's a pantsing. Like when you have another self-pantsing of that degree, I think the best tweet was I saw was like, and that's why he didn't win any NBA dunk comps. But clanking the dunk off the back of the rim with 2.5 minutes left to take the fucking lead in a game that you lose by 3 points. Oh, that's a pantsing. Who was better than Bronny James / Lonzo Ball / Ben Simmons?
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody. Coming for everybody.
Better than Ben Simmons. I mean, 2-1-1 today is not too hard to get too much better than. But Jalen Duren, I just think he's neat. He's not a potato. He's not a spud. I just think he's neat. 12 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks. He had a rubbish game 1. But the way that he bounced back today, he went 6 of 6 at the free throw line, 3 of 4 from the field. And like the Detroit defense is wildly suspect. He did a really good job, I think, today. And there's a reason they just go, oh, we'll just go away from Cat. It's not because Jalen Duren was shutting him down. But that didn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Duren just did a really good job. 37 really fucking solid minutes. almost fouls out, but 12-13 with 3 blocks, 2 assists, and 1 steal. That is better than Bronny James, Lonzo Ball, and Ben Simmons combined today. Love that. Jalen Duren, my beloved Detroit Pistons. Let's go. All right, let's do some quick yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs real quick. Can the Pistons win this series? Yeah, nah. Nah. But today's game was really, 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 really worrying for Knicks fans. After game 1, where it took like a 21-zip run to take control of that game, and then you lose game 2 at home, I'd be a little bit fucking squirrely if I'm a Knicks fan. And I am most definitely fucking not, just FYI. Can they win the series, though? I just don't quite see them doing it. The Knicks are just too talented and too good. They should win out in the end. But, I mean, what was my prediction? Let's go back up to the top of the sheet. I predicted Knicks 4-2, and I'm sticking by that. I still think the Pistons can easily win one of these games at home as well. But the Knicks should win it out and eventually. Speaking of which, though, can the Clippers win this series? Yeah, nah, yeah. I mean, I picked them. I picked them 4-2, even after that game the other day. And what do we say? I think we did what do we learn from game 1? So that might have been yesterday's show, right? I picked the Clippers 4-2 in this series. And I think I said going into today's game, it's like, yeah, they could win this game and still win this series in 6. So they can definitely win the series. Fuck yeah. Flip side is, can Denver bounce back? Denver are really fucking good. They just had a weirdly janky game. But that also came after a janky game 1 that they pulled out of their ass and probably should have lost. So, yeah, I think the Nuggets are in a little bit of trouble. I think they are. Hazard P had a good one from the other day. Bronny James is young and had his cardiac incident. Is there a chance at, say, 24, 25, 26? He's a solid NBA role player and no one remembers how dodgy he started his career. Yeah, nah. Everybody's going to go, oh, he was shit. Because he's LeBron's son. I am fascinated by that series as well. Like the Wolves-Lakers series, so they don't play tomorrow, but it is absolutely awesome. Oh, no, they do play tomorrow. Yeah, they're on the 3 with the other sort of what? The 4, 5, 3, 6. Oh, no, there's a 1-8 tomorrow. Whatever. Anyway, they are playing tomorrow. Just took myself around. I think he has a chance of being around for a couple of years. I just don't think he's very fucking good. It's a weird one, but here we are. Another one from today, unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Ref reviews, as I've said time and time again, my big thing with ref reviews are there should be a shot clock, 24 seconds, everything has to be decided at game speed or fuck off. It's also weird that you're not allowed to look at everything in the play like where Rusty Westbrook stepped out of bounds in today's game. They review the play, but it's we can't actually do that. He also traveled. We can't actually overrule that. Why the fuck not? If Rusty steps out of bounds, it negates everything after that. So, yeah, you just go, oh, well, he stepped out of bounds there. That foul doesn't matter. Fucking wipe it off. Fucking side out Denver. Side out Clippers. Like, what are we doing? Or, hear me. So, ref reviews should be able to look at everything in a play that's being reviewed. Absolutely everything. From when, I don't know, the ball handler has the ball or whatever. Everything should be done at game speed, and it should be done within 24 seconds. You get your own shot clock, right? Or, and hear me out, let's do a bit of Outback Takehouse. It's Tuesday at Outback. You know what that means? Oh, yeah, fucking Mully Grub Tuesdays. Mully Grub Tuesdays. That's right. We just went out the back. We got some fucking witchetty grubs from the backyard. Chuck them on the barbie. It is one of the best fucking entrees you'll ever have. Bloody delicious. They just fucking, it's like popcorn. It's awesome. Bit of fucking seasoning on there. Boom. Only at Outback. They're bloody delicious. Mully Grub Tuesdays. And today's Flame Grill take is, all right, I've swung completely the other way. 0 reviews in basketball. I'm fucking done. None. 0. Zilch. Just, why? Is it flowing? But it's flowing so much fucking worse than just getting rid of reviews. Like, what are we doing here? That's a flame grill take. I think we should. I'm kind of on board with this. Just fucking do it. All right. Let's take a quick break. Come back with Australian Player Watch right after Delhi.
This is Matthew Delvedova, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, Australian Player Watch. Only one Aussie in action today, and it was Box Hill Benny, a.k.a. Brady Benny. Benny with the braids. It's not a great look with that weird fucky beard of his. 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist on 1-on-1 shooting in 8 minutes. As I said, Box Hill Benny, take a free throw, like drive to the hoop once for a free throw and get fouled, or get the worst haircut imaginable. He's like, I will get the worst haircut you've ever seen, Jim. I'm like, okay, Ben. Patty Mills copped the did not play coach's decision as well. So, see, Patty looks good with braids. Benny, the beard just fucks it. It's weird. I thought his hair looked awesome beforehand. Anyway, that's it for the Aussies today. What we will have in action tomorrow, though, is Johnny Furphy as the Bucks take on Indy. They have a crack at Johnny Furphy. Dukas with the Thunders, and then Jingles against the Lakers. So we'll see what happens there. However, a bit of a Shane Hill shoot your shot, light him up award / it's kind of like a, Andrew Gay's Great Mumber award as well, but we'll do a Shane Hill one.
He threw it down. Are you healed? Are you healed? Praise the Lord, I'm healed.
Praise the Lord, for I'm healed. It is the Shane Hill
Shooters Shoot.
Shoot Your Shot, Light 'em Up award.
Nikola Jokic. It was a fascinating game from Jokic today. He had 5 turnovers, 5 field goals, and 5 assists, and played the entire time. Absolutely incredible. At 26 points, 12 flops, 7 turnovers. Jokic going absolutely hammer and tongs in this game. Well, we have Karl Anthony Towns going, I'm the best big man shooter of all time. Jokic is out there just going fucking 4 of 8 from downtown and crushing it. 8 of 16 overall. The 6 of 10 from the free throw line actually probably sank him and his team today in a game they lose by 3. Very strange one. Very strange one. But he's a shooter sometimes, and he shoots. His flopping, where he got poleaxed, was pretty funny as well. But a tough one for Jokic. But still, some amazing shooting throughout that game. And I don't know if we talk about enough about how much of an awesome shooter he is. So, good on him. All right, a bit of a Patty Mills Game Day, Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Has Patty tweeted or done anything? Let's have a look. There's Dyson. Oh, there he is, hanging out. That's a nice photo. Reflected off the tabletop. That's nice. That's pretty good. And there's Jock. He's getting pictures, picture frames from his wedding. That's nice. Good job, Jock. All right, let's do some game previews for tomorrow. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Oh, yeah, not bad. Chilling, not illin'. Foot's still a bit fucky. I don't think I've given you an update on that. I've got to go over the shoulders being looked at. I shot some hoops on the weekend. Shoulder actually feels okay. It's still fucked, though, so got to get the injection on the weekend and see how we go there. It's good. But the foot, I got to go see a proper fucking specialist about the Achilles and all this sort of shit. So it's not blown, hasn't torn, which is good. But the doctor's afraid I will tear it if I try to do anything on it. So, fat bastard Jim. Let's go. Anyway, remember, go check out Dabble for all of our picks. Code NBA Straya. You can follow along with all of our picks. Copy them as well. We've got fun same gamers in there every single day. All of our picks, though, for the games are in there. So check them all out. We have gone exactly 5 of 10 so far these playoffs. Which... very frustrating. We had the Knicks today. That obviously didn't hit, but we nailed the Clippers pick. So I don't know if I put that in dabbled in the end. But the unders, I went both unders today. Game 2 unders. They're one of the big ones. Just saying. Anyway, tomorrow's games are absolutely fascinating. So we'll have these picks over on Dabble. Remember, code NBA Australia for you to follow. Milwaukee. It's Algonquin for the good land. Will it be the good land tomorrow in Indy? Yeah, nah. I'm going to still say nah. I think this Pacers team is a fucking sleeping giant. They've been so good in the second half of this season. They are 4.5-point favorites against the Bucks. If the Bucks bring back Dame, I just kind of think that sort of maybe makes it even more obvious that Indy are probably going to smash them. So they destroyed the Bucks the other day. I think they beat them pretty handily again in game 2. I'm going Indy minus 4.5. Miles Turner was really good. I think they're pretty locked in. Halliburton had a really shit shooting night the other day. If Dame comes back, he should probably have a really good game. So let's go Indy minus 4.5. Then Memphis go back to OKC. Well, they stay in OKC clearly, but after a 51-point loss the other day, the 6th biggest loss in NBA playoff history, can they bounce back and actually put up a bit of a fight here? I'm going to say, I reckon they can make it a little bit closer. Just because you think about the way that this Memphis team has played, they have had these just weird, janky, gross games every so often. And then they'll come out and surprise the shit out of you and absolutely out of nowhere. And I think that's what this one might be. So with the Thunder up 1-0, Memphis is like, ego bruised. I feel like the Grizzlies might put up a bit more of a fight. Triple J's probably not going to shoot 2 of 13. Ja Morant's probably not going to have a really, really gross one. I feel like the Grizzlies, who did get swept by the Thunder, mind you, in this season series. And every game was 21 points, 17 points, 13 points, and 24 points. I'm going to go the Grizzlies plus 14.5. I still think they get beaten pretty handily, but I think they keep it closer than 51. Right? Let's go Memphis plus 14.5. Then we go to Minnesota at the LA Lakers for game 2. This is awesome. I think the Lakers bounce back and win this one. They're 5.5-point favorites. I really like the Lakers. I think everything kind of went wrong that could go wrong. Everything that could go wrong went wrong for the Lakers the other day in game 1. The Wolves hit every fucking 3. They went 50% from 3. They were fucking smashing them. The Lakers had absolutely no answers on defense. All those threes are wide open. I think JJ Redick's a really good coach. I think he's going to be sitting down the last couple of days going, what the fuck was that, you idiots? LeBron, I know that you're 400 million years old, but Jesus, close out on a shooter once. That's all I ask. Same goes for you, Luka. And he's like, I'm too busy looking at Nico tweets. But I think the Lakers, especially offensively as well, as I mentioned the other day, they had a fucking shocking offensive game, apart from Luka. And like his defense is like rightly maligned. But I feel like everything else around him, if it coalesces even a little bit more, they're in that game against the Wolves. And they're getting smashed. But I think the Lakers bounce back here. And the Wolves, look, they shot the piss out of it. The Wolves do this every so often, right? They did it last year in their playoff run. Where it's like, we're actually just really fucking good. But in that last game, in game 1, they got 1 million fucking points from Jaden McDaniels and from Naz Reid. I feel like the Lakers will be able to mismatch this a little bit more. LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, I think their size everywhere will make this a bit more of a tougher game. I'm going to give the Lakers game 2. So let's go Lakers minus 5.5. It's going to be a fun one. But I will do the video tomorrow morning before I go drop off the squids again. So if my vibes have changed, you'll see that in tomorrow's video. But that's what it is for the minute. Go follow all those vibes, all those picks over at Dabble. Use that code NBA Straight. Click on the link in the show description or in the link in our bio and follow along and go check it out. Would really appreciate it. All right, that's it for today. We are back on deck tomorrow. In the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straight on Twitter, Facebook, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Jump in the comments, send through some YNRs. Do that as well. Yeah, just fucking send any questions. Go hammer and tongs. Get around NFL Australia as well. NFL draft is coming up very quickly. Check us a rating review on your Apple Podcasts, your Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you use on the Android phone. It does help out heaps, so help us out. Rate, review, star, subscribe. Grab your mate's phone, subscribe them to it. Go nuts. Help a brother out. Go to Double, obviously, same thing there. Use that code NBA Australia. Use the link in the show description. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They are awesome. So are House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinated Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. However you listen and support your bands, do so. NBA Australia, support Australian bands. All right, that'll do us. We will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And later, hoes on. G'day, legends. Your mate Jim from NBA Australia here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business, we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Australia. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in yeah, nahs. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Australia, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So, if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Australia, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?